Okay, folks, now in this one, I want to discuss a little bit about Michael Houser. Coming up. All right. Let's take a look at Michael Houser, who I think is getting a raw deal, to be honest. I do. I mean, I would like to see more of Michael Houser because what I have seen, I've really liked and I've been impressed with. And I just don't get what the Sabres, why they're waiting, why they keep burying this guy down in the minors when at least let him fail in the pros before making him go back down every time, you know? To be honest, I thought he'd get claimed. Okay, let's open it up. I know his career is very short, but I want you to look at the other numbers as well. Okay, here we go. Now, his numbers, if you look, have been pretty decent. He's had, I always look at save percentage, especially when it comes to other leagues. 917, 924, 912, 919, 922. In Rochester, 924. Then you see that he came up and he had 901 in 4 games for us last year. And this year in 2 games, he has 948. His NHL total, 6 games played, he's 4-2, a .298 goals against average, which is pretty okay on a Sabres team like this right now. And his save percentage this year is .917. So he's... there's no reason we shouldn't be giving this guy more of a chance. It rubbed me the wrong way at the beginning of the year. We didn't give Houser a chance. Then he comes up. I thought he's going to stay. And I just don't know what they're planning with him. You know what I mean? I just don't know. What are they planning with Michael Houser? Because there is potential with this guy. This guy has shown in some games he can look brilliant. Let's look at a few clips I took out, okay, of him. Okay, there's 2. All right, here we go. Okay, that's the first one. That was last year when he got called up. Now take a look. In his first NHL game, he had a .944 save percentage. He stopped 34 of 36. Okay. Then in his second game, he stopped 45 out of 48. And you guys know the way we were playing defense last year wasn't any better. It was worse than last year. It was worse. There's his only bad start of his career, the third game. You might recall he let in the 8 goals to Pittsburgh. Only on 34 shots, so .765 save percentage. But then he bounced back against Pittsburgh. The next time, he bounced back, but they lost, okay? But he only let in 1 goal the next game. Well, that was a back-to-back in Pittsburgh, you might recall. To me, that's a good sign. He got shelled, comes in a few days later, same team, same personnel, everything, lets in 1 goal. I like this guy. I would like to see more of him before we write him off. Okay, let's take a look at the last clip. Here we go. Oh, there's a few more actually, but no, of him. Okay, here we go. There. Now, you see the 2 games this year. He comes in right away, okay? His last game he played basically was May the 8th. He comes in literally 7 months later, right? 7 months later, he comes in, he stops 43 out of 44 shots, looks brilliant against Ottawa. Looked brilliant that night. That night, I'm telling you guys, that was some of the best goaltending I've seen in a very long time. His positioning, everything was just right on. Then, he plays a few days later, and he lets 3 goals in. We still win the game. And he lets in 3 out of 33 shots for .909, which is fine, you know? So that's what he's done, what he's shown management. I just don't get what management is waiting for. Why are they waiting to give this guy a fair chance? It just feels like they just don't have him and they use him as a filler to for when Tokarski's back and when Anderson's back, when I think this guy should be our starter. Really. This guy should be our starter. This is how I feel. This is why I'm making this video. Because the way he played in that Ottawa game really woke me up to what his capabilities are, this guy. Want to show you something, and there's a point to it. All right, next clip. And there's Tim Thomas, okay? And the point of this is that Tim Thomas was a full 2+ years older than Hauser when he became a starter in the NHL. Now, is he going to be anything like Tim Thomas? Most likely not. I mean, Tim Thomas had a great career and is really Hall of Fame worthy. You know, like this guy should be in the Hall of Fame, potentially. I won't say yes for sure, but potentially I wouldn't have any argument this guy could be in the Hall one day. But again, Tim Thomas came in. He had that great run with the Bruins. We've seen it. They won the Stanley Cup 2011, and really on his goaltending. He was just outstanding in that series. Now, I get that's an extreme example, okay? I'm going to get more extreme. All right, so get ready. All right, last clip. Here we go. Now, Dominik Hasek, okay? Now, he was 28, turning 29 when he became our starter. We didn't know till he was 29 years old what we had with this guy. He was 29 by the time we figured out what we had with him. You know what I mean? So this is not like Michael Hauser's 29. We don't know what we have yet with Michael Hauser. Now, of course, I'm not comparing Michael Hauser to Dominik Hasek. I'm comparing the age. The point is the age with these other two, with him and Tim Thomas. And that's why I think we should give this guy more of a shot. I don't see why we haven't given him more of a fair shot, because this guy has shown more than once. He's kind of opened our eyes more than once. We're like, oh, like, you know, you see like these games that he's put out and it's like superstar potential. You've seen the shots in some of those games, right? I mean, 43, 44, what was it? Ottawa was 40, you know? It doesn't make any sense to take a guy that's doing that and send him back down. It just doesn't. Especially when your goalie's 40 and he's injury prone. Well, not injury prone, I shouldn't say that. But he's nearing the end of his career and he's most likely going to find a home elsewhere. So why aren't we at least giving this guy a fair shot on the team? I don't get it. I really don't. Yeah, I'm just checking the shots again. See, look, 48 shots. He won the game. That was last year. This year, 44 shots. He won the game. I don't know much. I'm not saying that's a ton of proof, but guys, we have to like be a little realistic, I think, when it comes to our goaltending situation. We're not going to be able to have Anderson for the next like 3 years. I mean, it's just not realistic. You know, this is not something that is going to work because he'll most likely get hurt again, what have you. And we can get something for him, like I said in the last video. Like, we can get something for some of these guys, move them. We can bring up Hauser, keep him there, and then have him in UPL, whatever it is. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the Amherst after that. It's okay, but we've got to do something because I know we've given Dell how many chances this year before it was like, you know what I mean? That backfired. And Hauser's never backfired. I guess that's what I want to see. There's been no backfire with this guy. Tokarski's worked out kind of good too, though. He has. So's Anderson. Don't get me wrong. But if you asked me any goalie, if we were in a Game 7 tonight going into the Stanley Cup Finals, and this is all the goaltending that we have on this team, I probably would say Anderson, but I would definitely want Hauser as the backup on the bench. That way, if Anderson goes down, I feel good who's going into the nets. That's kind of how I feel, guys. I think we should give this guy a bit more of a chance, see what he has before we lose him, because eventually somebody's going to catch on somewhere that this guy is just not getting a fair shake more than anything. You know, it's not that he hasn't kind of proven himself in the games that he's played. So I think what he needs is a fair shake in the league with us, preferably, before we say, okay, goodbye, good luck, you know. But I want to know what we have first. I hate this idea that 2 years from now he could be, God, who knows? On some team. It could be some team out west, and he's going crazy in the nets, and we're thinking, why didn't we keep this guy? It just has that feel about it, Okay, guys, that's it for this one. I got one more to make, and then I'm calling it a night. See you then.